Yeah,
Sorry.
good. Dan, Jono.
Hello.
From Arse.
Arse.
Is it said Arse or Arse?
I don't know.
Arse.
I was going to say it's
What's the
I feel like Australians spell even when it's written ass, you say arse.
arse?
It's Arse, isn't it? It's Arse.
Arse.
It's whatever
Arse,
you want
arse.
it to be.
Yeah.
Where'd the name come from?
Well, there's a part of the body that
Do we spell it like that in Australia though?
not all the time. If I picture the word ARSE to be a really like hairy old fat man, but an ASS to me is like a nice looking one.
Yeah, a pert derriere.
like a young terrier.
A pert derriere.
Yeah.
So you write for the Daily Mail.
Did someone from fucking what's that terrible fucking camera show? Big Brother.
Oh yeah.
The terrible camera show.
Arse. They show their arse.
Arse.
Thanks for playing at the empty room sessions tonight. How was it?
It was a
very
lot of
empty.
fun. It was very.
Yeah.
How's it playing to an empty room?
I forgot about it eventually.
Yeah.
In the first song, I was pretty, pretty out of my. I was just like, do I even remember how to do this?
Yeah.
Because it had been so long, and after the first song, it was fine, but initially, it was just like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know if I could. I didn't know if I could still sing. I didn't know if I could still play.
You feed off the energy of the crowd.
Yeah,
a
I
bit
think we do.
normally.
Yeah, I definitely do.
Even just one person who's cooked and right at the front, just thrashing around,
Which happens all the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's enough to have a really good show.
That's usually the best we can do. One fucking cooked.
I love those guys.
Yeah, they're everywhere. Especially Melbourne though. Melbourne's the hot spot.
There's always one at least.
Yeah.
Because it opens so late.
Yeah.
What was that?
Wasted.
There was that guy in Melbourne that like he got so crazy, he got hyped up that he grabbed your leg and started wrestling you.
Yeah, it was mental. Yeah, it was. I thought he was going to break my leg because he was a big guy, and he used my basically grabbed my shin and used it as a lever to get onto the stage.
Oh, God.
And and then as he tumbled over the monitors, it felt like his whole body weight was going to land on my and like kind of push my knee like the wrong way, and he didn't. But it was pretty.
I just want to know what that guy's intentions were when he got on stage.
Well, he shortly after, because we were opening for the Hard-Ons, and during their set, he just fucking got ejected like immediately.
Really?
Like one song, and they were just dragging him out.
Too much.
And he was an older guy. He was like
how old?
50.
50 years old.
Yeah.
Just still frothing the stage fucking invasion.
But after the show, after our set, he came up to me and said some really nice things, like garbled, but still really nice. So he meant no harm, but
Just trying to do his thing. Just trying to enjoy
meant no
himself.
harm. He just wanted to express himself, and he expressed himself all over the stage. Yeah.
We've actually got the just to touch on that quickly. The Hard-Ons have signed up.
You want to touch on Hard-Ons?
Yeah, I want to touch on them. And on the 50-seater shows that we did the first one last week with Caitlin.
How did it go?
It was great, but like that's not a surprise. Like country vibe, like it's going to be a beautiful evening.
Yeah,
but the Hard-Ons are going to do one.
It's so cool. They're doing
50-seated people.
Doing you yell it, we play it. Request
fully request show.
It's pretty cool.
So
I heard they've been around since 1981.
Yeah,
That's your birthday.
Same as me, yeah.
It's a year older than me. That's a remarkable feat.
It's
They
crazy.
Still go hard. Last time we saw him was here downstairs.
That was the last show we played as well before all the shit.
When was that?
The fundraiser, the bushfire.
Yeah. I remember it.
They played after us, and fuck, they set it on fire. Yeah, it was insane.
They're such a great band. We had the idea yesterday. Like, it was literally we had the conversation. Myself and Joe and Kenny were talking in the office, and we were literally like, "What about the Hard-Ons?" And Joe laughed, and then went,
"Hang on,
hang on a second. Dave Batty, I've been talking to him about X, Y, Z. He's like, I'm just going to call him." And called Dave, and he was just like, "Yep, I reckon that." And called the boys, and it was on sale last night. Like less than 12 hours after and they've already sold half the tickets. I think
that was
basically
the first thing
sold
this
out.
morning. They sold out 50% of tickets by this morning.
It's so cool.
Yeah,
they have a seriously dedicated crowd.
Yeah,
but they're seriously dedicated too. Right. They're dedicated to their crowd and to music. I mean, how do you be in a band for fucking 39 years and not fucking
hate each other?
Yeah, well, that's true. How long have you guys been together?
Because
I'm feeling hatred.
This
doesn't take long.
First rehearsal.
Oh fuck this guy.
That's what powers the band.
No, this band is probably three years old, but we've known each other since high school.
Yes, your old friends.
Oh, really?
Oh, very old friends, yeah. And
where's that? That was we probably touched on.
Who
last
bullied
time.
who at school?
I really didn't like Jono when I met him. I remember that.
Really?
Yeah, because you had
Depths of hatred saying they were here.
because you had the spiky hair, and I wish I could do that.
It was a cool
I
cut.
can't. Yeah, Jono's hair is so straight that when he gelled it, because gel was like the thing. I don't know if you guys
Gel.
did that.
Have I heard of
And
What
gel?
are you trying to say?
We've
No
heard
more
of
than
gel.
a P. You're like, fuck off.
His
What's that
hair,
gonna do?
his hair was so perfectly straight that he could, when he gelled his hair and spiked it, it was like a perfect like porcupine. He
I
was
knew
like
a kid like that.
Yeah.
Cameron something or other. He lives in
Yeah.
Tasmania.
You hated him as well.
Yeah, I hated
assume.
him.
Oh.
No, he was
Jealous
all right.
of him.
He was a really good drummer. Yeah,
No, maybe it's a drummer thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the first thing you learn.
yeah.
How do you
spike
look?
your hair.
But then I met the man under the spiky or the boy actually,
Aw.
and you know.
How old
rest
are you
is
guys
history.
now?
Should we say?
Oh, never tell.
It's really
32.
Yeah, 32. Yeah.
Okay, so and where did you go to school?
We graduated in 05.
And where from? Which school?
Gilroy College.
Where's that?
It's in
The
Castle
hills.
Hill.
Ah, so you're Hills kids.
Out in the hills.
We
How
were.
much How much Jesus is in your fucking blood?
I had a lot.
Did you?
I had a lot of Jesus.
From Hillsong?
Yeah.
Whoa, hallelujah, motherfucker!
I had a lot of rich Jesus blood in me, and it all came out somehow. It came out my penis.
Has it been? I hear that's the deal at the Hillsong little academies. Is one of our mates, our mutual friends, Chochi, who did you know him
His
from
name's
those?
Churchy?
Yeah, yeah.
What's his real name?
Chochi?
Oh, Chochi.
Chochi. Oh, fuck off!
Oh, you mean Chochi?
Go fuck yourself. So, but did you know him from Hillsong?
I didn't. I think some of our friends did.
We have friends that are mutual friends of his. Yeah.
He was just regaling me with stories that he's just learnt about the Hillsong.
because he's in Caitlin Harnett's band, right?
I know he's in Charlie
with
Collins.
Charlie.
Sorry. Yeah.
And Charlie Collins did the Empty Room sessions last week. But yeah, we were hanging out with him last week, and he was telling me stories about the Hillsong. There's a bunch of Norwegian or Swedish, some sort of Scandinavian country kids who came over and were at Hillsong, and they were like, Gang of Youths went and played wherever they were in Scandinavia, and they hung out with a whole bunch of them. They're like, oh yeah, we were fucking the whole time.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's just like, he's banging the whole fucking time. So, well done, Hillsong.
Right.
Draining the fucking Jesus out via the penis.
Well, what's the saying? It's the asshole is the hole that God can't see.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah.
That's
what they call us.
In the Bible. They say that.
If that's not being said, it started now. I love that.
So we grew up together and
Good.
and
Just
yeah, it's
laying
good.
that down on the table.
It's amazing. The asshole is the whole God can't see.
That's got to be the name of one of your albums for sure.
Yeah. So we've known each other for ages, but we've had a handful of bands, and this band is just 3 members from our last kind of punk band that we did. There was 5 of us, and we
What was that band called?
It was called Snakeface, and
Fucking 2 great names in a row, by the way.
yeah, it was.
It was on a run.
It was a bit gnarlier than this band, I think. But it was a lot of fun, and there was 5, and now there's 3, and we were just like, we'll just keep doing stuff. So.
But did those 2 guys have incredibly good spiky hair? And you just had to fuck them off?
Well, we knew that.
Maybe
We've known those guys for a long time. They had the big they had big emo fringes.
Yeah.
Remember
As
those?
we all
I
did.
love
We all had
I
them.
never had one. I've got curly hair.
Yeah, you
can't,
did.
You can't pull off.
You don't have to lie about
You
it.
can't. You can't.
It's a safe
do it with
it's a safe
curly hair.
space. It's empty room sessions, right? I mean,
Yeah, there's no one else here.
there's no one
Surely.
else here. Yeah. So, but yeah. So 3 years we've been doing it. I think pretty much. But
Yeah.
this is of all the bands that I've been in. This one has been the most fun because like I'm fucking older now,
give
and
a
you just
fuck.
kind of just want to do what you want to do, and
It's so much fun. Your shows are fun. They've always been fun. Every single time I've seen Arse. I can't believe I said that. Every time I've seen Arse, it's been a fucking electric experience, including tonight, by the way.
thank you.
And it's difficult to fucking just like ramp that up in an empty, cold fucking room on a Thursday evening, early evening. So
I was
but
surprised as well. I was just like, how is this going to go?
where does that fucking energy come from for you guys? Like, where is it? Were you brought up on a diet of We talked to Jono a bit about this in the Party Dozen podcast, but for you, Dan, were you raised on a diet of music like this, or is this something that just comes out somewhere else?
No, I was. I had I've got an older brother, and then I have much older cousins. So yeah, when I was growing up, it was all the kind of heavy stuff like through the 90s, I guess.
What sort of bands? You thought like Tool heavy?
Yeah, fully. I was obsessed with Tool. Rage, obviously, was one of my favorite bands.
So great.
And yeah, I don't know, just always the heavy stuff was always around. Like my brother's in the 10 Club, like the Pearl Jam 10 Club, and so I was just like, had heaps of that. And
Pearl Jam's a band that people don't talk enough about.
I think they're massively underrated, to be honest. I don't know what Jono thinks, but
well, I think you do know what Jono thinks. Jono, what do you think about Pearl Jam?
This is why I hated Dan.
But anyone with a fucking spiky haircut hated Eddie Vedder.
No, seriously, yeah, and just I don't know. I think Jono and I have always we listen to everything, but I think we've always had like a kind of mutual love of like kind of the heavier sort of weird guitar music, and there's heaps of it. Now I think there's some of the best like kind of punk stuff is kind of coming out of actually Melbourne, obviously, and like the UK. The UK's got some fucking mad stuff.
Who are your favourite bands from the UK at the minute?
There's a couple of labels that I think we really look to, and one of them is called Static Shock, and there's heaps of good stuff on there, like Beta Blockers is on there. Is what label is Die on that label, or is it there on
I can't
La Vida?
remember. The last thing they put out was a long time ago, so
yeah,
I don't know who that was through.
There's a couple of bands from that label, and another one that just I think was maybe the blueprint for what we do. And then because they're kind of weird, they're just weird. They're kind of punk bands and they're heavy, but they've got like a sense of humor.
Yeah.
And then this other weird shit. So yeah, I don't know. It all filters in. And I think Party Dozen kind of feeds off that.
You guys heard of Murder Capital?
No, never.
No.
Oh fuck! They're one of our favorite bands from Dublin. They're kind of like what's that other band, Kenny? That they kind of blew up. Fontaines DC. Murder. But from that whole scene, I think. But it's like that Idols kind of whole vibe. But Murder Capital, if you haven't heard them, they're fucking amazing.
Yeah, cool. No, I'll check them out.
Heavy, a little less frenetic than you guys, but still the same fucking real vicious attitude towards music.
Awesome.
When I don't know if you guys rate them or not, whatever, but I thought it'd be a fun night for us and they cancelled it and then rebooked one of them. But when Idols came to play here, and originally they had 2 dates for Sydney and they were both going to be here, then they ended up moving one to Oxford Arts. Anyway,
we were at the show here.
Yeah. Well, I messaged them just through Instagram because all they could do, I didn't speak to Joe about it, and sent them a link to your band, to Arse, saying like, if you're going to get some local cunts to support you, you should get these guys because I think it would be a fun fucking night. I appreciate it. And I thought they would dig it because you guys are, real as fuck, and we're listening to their new stuff. Now, Joe made a good point. He's like, this is their second record. It was very much about them and of their moment. Now they're getting a bit wider politically, whatever. Yeah. Like it's, but that what was it? That Joy
is an Act of Resistance.
Yeah, that was a great record. But I tried, but next time.
Appreciate it.
Fucking cunts. Fuck you, Idols.
They were so lovely, actually. They
got
really
in contact,
people.
Actually.
Did they?
Yeah, they said they we had another friend who
really.
They messaged us.
How good's that?
Oh, that's on me.
Kenny. They said they listened to it and they liked it, so we were like.
That's so cool.
Oh, fuck.
Do you guys like chocolate milk as much as Idols did?
Yeah, I've heard that's a thing.
Kenny made them fucking chocolate milk.
He
made them chocolate milk at home and bought it in for them when they played here. 100% chocolate milk.
I went to 2 types because I think like their writer was very much like
2 types.
We're going to take the piss, but it's a way to sort of gauge like how much you're sort of. Is the venue like for fucking real, or are they a bunch of dickheads?
Yeah.
And they had like one was to have a postcard with a picture of a dog on it. So he got Joe and his avant-garde illustration to draw a picture of Ian, which is I'm sure you know Boo, music manager in town.
That's how they.
So he drew a picture of Ian the dog, and then they asked for enough chocolate milk for 4 people, and I made them a fucking mad one, like a legit one, and then I made a vegan one, which was pretty equally as delicious.
Who's the vegan in the band?
I don't think any of them. I assumed one of them probably was, but
Yeah, you can. That's a safe bet these days.
Yeah,
like 1 in 5 people is vegan now.
Yeah,
that's what they say.
And and they're well into the food and shit. Like we had to bring them some kimchi from Cherry Moon.
That's a good rider item.
Yeah, it was fun. And then I gave it.
Yeah,
you know, you made if someone's bothering going to get kimchi.
I know. Yeah.
But I came down and they gave it, and Joe, the singer, was there, and Boo was like, "Oh, this is Kenny. He's the one who made you the chocolate." It's like, "Oh, brother," just like give me a big hug. Just give me a big hug, and it's like, "Oh, you guys are sweet."
Yeah, awesome. What can you talk about the recipe? How did you make it?
It's a secret.
No, not at all. Well, the chocolate one was just like
Kenny's drunk
fucking melted chocolate ice cream, fucking cream, like all the real stuff.
One of those foods,
and then
all the
a bit of
ingredients are in
salt.
the words.
Yeah, and then
What's in this chocolate milk?
Chocolate?
Well,
I don't know if it's mixed to the same with coconut milk.
There's 2 ingredients.
Chocolate
fuck.
and milk.
Oh
I think I put some nuts in there.
Did you?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
One of them's
Went to
blown up
town.
like a motherfucker.
Yeah. That's the other thing. 1 in 5 people
Delicious.
probably have a fucking nut allergy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sent my daughter to school with some pesto today. I was like, fuck, I hope no one tries it. I'll probably get that.
Well, there's
probably hear about that
my
one.
kids are like, they're not allowed to share food.
Yes,
How
you're not
fucking
allowed.
shit is
I
that?
said, we were talking about that
I
last
used to
night. I
swap.
was like, you've got.
Did you
So
guys
did
used
I.
to
Yeah,
swap
yeah,
all
fully
the
tried.
time? Can't do that no more.
Can't
do that.
My daughter,
horse trade your
she
fucking-
goes, but we do all the time. And I was like, of course you do. You're kids.
My little one's just like so anti fucking sharing food because she's got it drummed in. She's got it drummed in hard. She comes home with like food that she doesn't eat, and she eats everything. And she's like, "Oh, I just want." And I'm like, "You're not offered to share it?" She's like, "Dad, you cannot share food at school."
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just like literally do this for a living, or whatever. You 7-year-old biatch.
Yeah, that's the thing. Don't they check lunch boxes?
Potentially. I don't know. Like at daycares, you're not even allowed to take any food.
That's what I thought,
They'll cater everything now. But I don't know if they go as far as checking it, but it's pretty full on. It didn't exist when I was at school.
It's a brave new world.
Everyone's eating peanuts.
Well, there's a whole fucking. Some comedian has a bit. It's just like the world's gonna turn into fucking just a world full of real soft human beings, and we don't deserve it. Like the peanuts was the way that you like.
Nature sorted out
Nature sorted it out.
the wheat
It's
from
like,
the chaff. Yeah.
See you later. Eat
The
a
nuts
peanut
from the shell.
If you can't fucking eat a peanut, you ain't
you're
worth
right.
much to us. Sorry to everyone who is a fucking peanut allergy, but whatever.
You gotta be careful. You
Just
know?
lost 1 in 4 of your listeners.
I put up a picture
and
of
good riddance.
Yeah.
Eat some fucking
put a
craft
picture
peanut
up
butter.
of a dildo on our Instagram yesterday. I think we lost about 50 followers.
Did you really?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
Brutes.
We got heaps more. We got a lot more, but it's. Yeah. I find it. I find
that
it weird. Find out weird. Just people go, oh no.
Especially following Mary's and just being like, oh, there's a picture of a dildo, and all of a sudden that's the thing that pushes them over the limit.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
You never know. Everybody's got a button, right?
Everybody does, yeah.
You never know.
Do you guys enjoy pushing buttons? Because that lyric, I think it's one of the best lyrics I've heard in a long time. I need a safe word because I'm about to get fucked.
Oh yeah.
It's a button pushing kind of a lyric. Where'd that come from?
I just thought of it one day and just without any, there was no musical context for it. Yeah, and we were writing new stuff, and I was just like, I just want a song that this goes in, and we kind of just wrote a song around it, and the drop where it stops, and because it felt like a bit of a punchline, I guess, and yeah, I don't know, like we just that's just our idea of having a good time, I guess, you know, just fucking coming up. I love to write lyrics.
Yeah,
and I just try to have as much fun with it.
So is your music generally lyric led and like concept led, or is it?
No, that was the first time that had happened, I think. Because we just happened to be throwing around some ideas, and I was just like, oh, I could probably slot that into that. Yeah, this particular idea, it feels like a good fit. I think there's definitely lyrics that I come up with where we've come up with like a musical idea, and some lyrics speak to the music, but that's the most that I would look into it, really.
I want to look deeper.
Well, it's just how I guess that's the process for me. There's I've got an idea, a musical idea, and then that speaks to like the lyric or whatever. And because I've always got lyrics on the hob, there's always a few ideas on the hob.
Do you have a little book of?
I have so many books, and if anyone ever read them, they would have me fucking committed. Like there's just some heinous stuff. Actually, a friend's partner. Actually, I left a book at
the ramblings of a madman.
Dave, seriously, yeah, and his partner was like, what
they
the
called
fuck
the police.
Yeah, this is going to be in the cold case.
Yeah, the one that brings me down. Yeah, I just because I guess they're like, they're like diaries, I suppose. Like, but in a very abstract sense.
Yeah.
And
do you ever go back and read them and kind of just get a sense of where you've been? And
yeah, fully. It's really bad. Like, just the past version of me is always like a inferior.
Yeah, trying to get better with age.
Boy, like who the fuck? Like who wrote that?
Yeah. I think back to the person I was, 6 months ago, and I'm like, just cringe.
It's crazy.
Sometimes.
Like even recently, a couple of weeks ago, it's like, what the fuck?
It never stops. Though.
It never stops.
But I think that's a sign of somebody who is restless in their kind of pursuit of themselves.
Oh, I'm restless. I'm very restless.
Well, that's good.
It is good. Yeah.
I think I get very nervous around people who are settled. I think that settled people to me are the real danger in life. People who settle long enough to start forming ideologies around, complicated fucking ideas that exist in life, and they just get set in a place that people are really become very, very nervous around and scared of. Because you look at the rest of life, and it's people who have this arrested set of concepts and ideas, and they travel through time with them without allowing them to be challenged or changed.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. There's no absolutes in life. You have to keep changing and rolling with the changes, I guess. I mean, I hate to bring it up, but the fucking COVID is just like...
We're in it.
What?
What's that?
Yeah, just the whole coronavirus, this saga. It's just like no one...
How's it affected you guys? Oh, you Dan, or we talked to Jono a bit. So chirp in, Jono, as you will. But
I think I was one of the lucky ones because my job kind of looked after me, and we were fine. Me and my partner we were fine through the whole thing. But I work in hospitality as well, and I saw people just doing it real hard, And
where do you work?
The Grifter Brewing Co.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and.
Drinking the fucking...
I used to work for them too, so it's all good.
We love it. We love Grifter. We love Young Henrys equally. They're
big supporters of the land.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all love. But I was one of the lucky ones. I do know people that were just really doing it tough, but it was a chance to definitely reset because we had plans with the band this year. And instantly they were just off the table. In a way, it was a bit of a relief, I think. Because I think you do that. I don't know. Every band's different, but I definitely feel pressure to be present all the time. Just the nature of what being in a band is now.
As in like gigging or producing.
Just you always have to be fucking fighting for the spotlight. I think it's very much that. I definitely think that on social media that is a a symptom of that, and it's not a healthy one. And it was pretty cool to just put it down for a bit. I know a lot of bands are dying to get back into it, and a lot of venues are wanting to have people back, and I think that's totally fair. But for me personally, I thought it was a good chance to just stop and just take stock, because we had a pretty busy year last year, and I don't even know what we're doing.
We were talking to these boys yesterday, and Jake referred to it as known as the Great Exhalation. Like this, the whole world has stopped, and because everyone's on a procession on a train. It's just nonsense, and sometimes not really going where you want, but it's like how the fuck just just keep going.
You have to keep moving, and it's like, mate, you might not be moving.
So now and I got asked this question today about what's the innovation going to be? How are we going to innovate our way around it? And I was like, it's more like the evolution is the devolution. Like you sit there and you see this is what makes me happy. Or if you're a business or whatever, or a band, this is what we sell. This is what I like to do.
Yeah.
I just want to do more of that now.
Yeah,
as opposed to just getting caught up in the peripheral bullshit that you feel that you had to you're doing to please others or because it's expected or because you're fighting for the limelight because you think it's, who's getting the most fucking followers? They got heaps of followers. Like, what's that all about? Like,
well, it's
doesn't
like
fucking matter, does it?
Yeah, it's like I have to say something, so I'm just going to say whatever. And it may not be it might not be the right thing, but I think people just want to just put their shit out there.
Yeah.
But I think it was good because we started working on like new music and it was it felt like the right moment to be like, okay, well, we have nothing better to do than just write whatever the hell we want. And I think it was good because we got a start on something.
Were you listening to a lot more music as well?
I was listening to fucking I went on a real jamboree, I went on a real jamboree. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, just got into it,
You and I haven't been on a jamboree in a long time. We need to get on a jamboree.
You boys, Boy Scouts? A couple of Boy Scouts here?
No.
I was in the Cubs.
I was in the Trailblazers.
I was in the Scouts for a little bit. And I quite enjoyed the Cubs. And then I don't know if the Scouts was getting a bit too, I don't know, like a little bit too disciplined in that sense.
Yeah, you got
it stopped being fun.
Now?
A little bit too fun. So I wasn't there.
Yeah, it's just...
It's time to get to the Scouts.
No, I wasn't like, no, not at all. The guy that did the Scouts was an architect. He was a nice dude.
Oh yeah, what? There's never been a kiddie fiddler architect?
No, I'll tell you. Well, I can't. I don't want to define his character to you, but
he had lovely hands.
He wasn't a bit
soft.
He looked a bit like Billy Connolly. He had a wife and kids. He's fine. But yeah.
Again,
nothing ever weird happened. I had a couple of suspect PE teachers for sure, but he was not one of them.
We definitely had.
Yeah, get the fuck out the changing room, you cunt. Like, what's with the pep talk when we're all getting changed every time? Fuck off. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, we had a couple of funny PE teachers, didn't we?
Yeah, I guess so.
Don't put them on blast?
PE teachers.
No, we're not going to put them on blast.
I think he might be dead now.
It's not fair. They're not here to defend
I
themselves.
don't remember any of them.
I saw. Obviously, I'm not going to name names, but I worked in a pub in the area that we went to school in shortly after high school, right? So did year 12, whatever, and just started working in this local pub, and it would be frequented by teachers from the high school that we went to, and there was this one PE teacher. He was a PE teacher, and I saw him in the context of
adult world.
The adult world, yeah. And I used to work the TAB section, and it turned out that this guy was just a fucking massive, had a huge gambling problem, and it would have been going on the whole time that we were at school.
Of course.
And we just had no idea. And then you see this guy in the real world, and he had you saw all his problems just by being in that environment. You just saw clearly this guy has a problem with gambling. Clearly he's just fucking it's Monday night, and he's we've all been slaughtered on a Monday night, but he was slaughtered every Monday night.
Yeah.
And who's there?
On the doggies or the
fucking everything, man. Like on the dogs, on the virtual dogs. You guys ever seen the virtual dogs?
Oh, that's a nasty game to get into.
They say that's fair. They say that's fairer than the real dogs.
What do you mean fairer? It's a computer.
No, apparently it's the odds are better than the real thing.
How can the
odds I might be spouting, so I'm not encouraging anything. But
it'd be more consistent, as in.
I don't know.
It's run by an algorithm, so there'll be a consistency to its run.
Yeah, you can bet. Yeah, it's more reliable.
Yeah, but it's literally.
But there's no consistency.
Ultimately, it's designed to fleece you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, and it was just fuck, this is really gnarly.
It's weird. Crazy. When you meet that teacher and you call them by their first name, and there's a immediate transfer of power because they're always just had it over you, and you're fucking hate you.
Yeah.
What's up, and then you just meet them, you're just what's up, Paul? And then it's all right, and you're that's the smart now, are you?
and there was
your shoes still suck.
And there was definitely an acknowledgement at one point of just well, this is me. This is who I was the whole time. This is the real me. Yeah. And it's just, man, it was really it blew my mind. Yeah, things like that definitely filter into the I don't know
the chasm that creates the fucking human.
Yeah.
Over time. 32 years of stories like that, and all of a sudden you've got a fucking life that you can talk about on a podcast.
Totally. Yeah.
That's all about.
So yeah. But
so what's next for you guys? Are you Kenny and I are intrigued by and we're inspired by our own experiences through, you brought it up. About coronavirus is something that...
No, I didn't bring it up.
We can't get away from it. And I don't want to get away from it either because I think, it's exactly where we are. And if we're not talking about it, then we're not actually talking about what's going on in our lives and in the world. But where do you see music for you exploding from all of this? Has it put a full stop on things? Has it opened up? Has it taken full stops away? What happens? Where's your heads at?
It's hard to say because I think even just from the beginning, it was like everyone was flying by the seat of their pants, and just like week to week, it was just like you guys would know with the venues. But I feel everything changes like every second, and they don't take into account the ways that the changes affect industries differently.
Nah.
So they're just like, okay, so now it's going to be like this, and it's just like, okay, well, that is going to impact hospitality, the arts, vastly differently to like fucking whatever other industries, and I think that was. I mean, but then what do you do?
But it showed you how exposed we were, because the people that, not just the people that lead us now, but have led us for the past few decades, have never spent more than fucking 10 minutes thinking about what to do in this situation.
Or
because they
real.
literally, as soon as it happened, they just went, and just started throwing money around the place, throwing fucking PR around the place. Like it wasn't anything real. And it just goes to show you how, in any job, you're sort of prepared for things. You have to be.
Yeah.
And when it's like, oh, what if the whole world shut down tomorrow? What if the economy shut down tomorrow? They're like, oh, fuck, we don't have time. You know what I mean? Like we'll get to that one day.
That's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen.
Yeah, when it's like,
happen.
when every fucker worth their salt has got a brain, like the Bill Gates of the world and many others have been saying that this will happen. I mean, I tell you, a movie reference
around coronaviruses.
Yeah, and there was also I watched it the other week. It was like Demolition Man. Remember that? I used to love that movie. Yeah, and then that whole thing when they don't shake hands. And she goes like, oh, well, there was this, and then there was this, and just rhymes off 4 diseases that stopped people interact. Like, it's a thing. Like, it's always been like, it's known that it can happen, it will happen, and yet economists and politicians just went, nah, but this is working really well for us right now, so leave that to someone else.
Yeah. Demolition Man, that was Snipes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Stallone. Sandra Bullock.
And Stallone, yeah. Is it the 3 seashells?
Yes.
Yeah, no one ever knows. Yeah.
And Snipes had the bleach blonde hair, made him look like Dennis Rodman.
Right. No, Dennis Rodman did it after that. That was they mentioned that in The Last Dance. They're like,
really?
And Demolition Man came out, and that's when Dennis Rodman started becoming into that sort of character or his true self. They were like, Demolition Man came out. Next thing, Dennis Rodman turns up to train him with bleach blonde hair, and he's like,
yeah, that's right.
I feel myself.
Did you guys watch The Last Dance?
I watched the first episode. I haven't.
Did you guys grow up around basketball much when you were growing up?
I played basketball.
So
fucking shit at it.
Yeah, same. But Chicago Bulls, like that whole fucking thing was.
Yeah, everyone knew the Bulls. Everyone.
It was. Yeah. I loved watching that documentary. I think it was one of the most interesting insights into the mind of a fucking like borderline sociopath.
Yeah, the business side of it. I mean, I've just only seen the first episode, but the business side of that whole thing and just who was getting what.
Jordan's is such an incredible individual, like such a singular human being. And what you're like looking at going, yeah, he's surrounded by amazing people. Like Phil Jackson, like not even it's really not even an argument who's the greatest basketball coach ever.
He's won more championships than any of them.
Yeah, he's amazing. But it all came down to one person really at the end of the day, which is just a remarkable thing to see. It like I can't believe they managed to hold on to that footage and not release it for nearly 22
I know how much footage is there? There's so much footage.
That's the coolest thing about that thing. Like the
if
fact
they had
that
done it in
it's the only reason anyone cares right now. It's like that sort of the way, and no one cared. No one. If you'd said, "Do you ever want to do?" Like it's because it was kept so long and it's so rare because people's obsession with sharing instantly right now. Like you can't like that whole idea of. Like photographs used to be memories, and it's like put it up. It's like, oh, remember that? Remember 14 seconds ago when I took that fucking selfie and it's already up there.
It is funny though that we say today that fuck everybody's just obsessed with documenting everything, but sort of like 20, 30 years ago, there seemed to be just cameras everywhere and they were filming Do you know what I mean? They're filming everything.
Not really. Yeah. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, like, just I think of all these documentaries. Like, I just watched this like.
But they were filming important things. The things that we're filming.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's because we put cameras in the hand of dumb people now. That was like reality TV. What's this comedian who was saying that, he's like, when I was growing, and he's older than us, like probably late 40s, can't remember who it was. But it's like, when I was young, it's like, if you were stupid, you tried everything in your power to hide the fact that you were stupid. Like, people would try and talk to you, you just be like, no, and just stop talking. He's like, no, people want to go on TV and go, I'm fucking stupid. Yeah. Look at me. This is how I earn a living.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, let's go to the world in now, but...
Wow.
Scary.
Yeah, it's scary.
So what do you guys think another one kind of looping back, but and maybe taking a little bit of wider view on the role of music, not just your music, but the role of music in times like this. Do you think it has to change? Do you think it will change?
Yeah, what do you reckon?
I don't know. It feels like there's not enough systemic support. Yeah. Everyone, like, there's always these studies that people are making. They're like, this is how much the arts puts into the economy, and no one really cares.
And so the government, especially, like, they turn to you in times of need. Like, when we need to raise money for anything,
sure,
where do we look?
Yeah.
That's actually really true. That's just like, fuck that. Yeah. I mean, yeah, the bushfire fundraiser. I know that was just like a really successful day. That was like a lot of money was put towards a great cause just out of this building.
But at least that's our world, and that's the sort of tools we have to give. It's like we can feed people, drink people, play music. But when just anyone is like, people that are systemically not supported or withdrawn support, then turn around in a moment of need and go like, I know we did that thing, but any chance you guys can all pay for free because we want to earn some money and get some media about this?
Yeah, totally. I know today they released their arts funding package or whatever.
50 million or something.
Oh god, yes, something like that. It was short of what was asked for.
Oh, there needs billions of dollars worth of injection into the arts across Australia on a consistent basis, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
I'm a huge believer that the arts reflect culture, and to get they're a bellwether on a successful arts culture doesn't just provide relief to people, and it or some sort of singular comfort. It actually, historically, the arts have always been the spearheads of the most important moments. Like, you can't have the Renaissance, and the Enlightenment without the arts. These huge things that were scientific, the really long-lasting things that a lot of people kind of refer to, the Renaissance and the Enlightenment. These are scientific things that really re-angled and reshaped the way that the world was seen on a cultural sense and the way we kind of appreciated things. But the arts were fucking there. They were the spearhead to it. Da Vinci, he's an artist and a scientist at the same time.
Yeah.
And there's been this separation from the arts and the sciences, which I think is so dangerous, where they don't speak anymore. And they have this line between them, and they are the same fucking thing as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
The arts is like an exploration of scientific thought before it can be created, before it can be even formulated in scientific terms.
Yeah. Because
we're as the kind of, the directive kind of Homo sapiens are the thing that kind of directs the future of the earth right now. Where does the motivation come from? What directs us in the place we're meant to go? Because we are the stewards of the future of the earth.
Yep.
And without art,
we're fucked.
we are 100% fucked.
Yep.
If we cannot be feeding our souls as well as our fucking minds, as well as our stomachs, we are just we're on a train to fucking nowhere as far as I'm concerned. Which is why I think it's so important to have bands of any style, of any fucking reach. It needs to be something that is just a part of our fabric, and we need to fight for it more.
Yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Well said.
It's true. It's to me, fortunately, unfortunately, for better or worse, I'm a creative person. I don't express myself through like numbers or whatever. To me, art's the only thing that speaks to me. And there's a lot of people like me, like yourselves, like Jono, definitely, you know. And yeah, this is what we deal in. We don't deal in, you know, fucking metrics and whatever. Mm-hmm. Does that make us less important than the
metrics are different?
Yeah,
they're no less important and they're no less tangible when you actually when people actually spend some time looking at the way that they impact happiness and worth. They are no less important. In fact, the more studies that are done on cultures that have a removal of art, you know, happiness declines, and humans who are unhappy, that's a huge problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
there's a lack of motivation.
A couple of years ago, I definitely went through like something of a depressive period in my life for sure, and I never felt anything like it before, and I was just like, what is wrong at this point in time? Like, what's changed, whatever. And I went and found help, like professional help, spoke to somebody, and they said, well, if you could be doing anything right now that would make you happy, what would you do? Like, if you didn't have to worry about like work or whatever, anything, if you could just do the one thing that would make you happy, what is that thing? And I was just like, it was like a light bulb that went off in my head, and I was just like, well, fuck, I haven't played in a band for like a couple of years, and that was it. That was the key to it. And it's like, well, tomorrow you should go and you should fucking make some music. You should find some people to make some music. And that was just that thing, you know, you can't always be in a band, you can't always be making stuff, but just at that point in time, I wasn't making anything. Yeah. Because I thought I was depressed or whatever, but it was actually the inverse. I was depressed because
I think that there's such a powerful thing. It's something that I've personally found, and I know that it's reflected on the opposite side of the table with Kenny, and that's through this period we've in our business we had a massive contraction as so many have, and one of the things that's forced for us is the requirement to unfortunately lay people off and make people redundant, and then to shoulder the load of that ourselves. And there is such a clear line and correlation between hard work and work of worth and importance and self-worth. And that if you are engaged in some level of work that inspires you, and not even inspires in the sense I want to be a visual artist, and you can't be a visual artist because you don't know how to fucking draw like me. It's not about that. It's about cleaning the toilets. Like, just some sort of purpose. Purpose just breeds worth. And, and especially specifically for creative people, when they get divorced from it and their creative worth is now funneled into, say, for example, sitting on a MacBook and just designing logos for some big corporation, that's not really creative output. That's using something that you're good at and trading it. Yeah. It's a labor fucking transfer. It's, it's not really like engaging in something that speaks to the humanity. I don't know how that sits with you guys, but for us, it's been really powerful just to get taken back and like, the fucking toilets need cleaning. I'll fucking go clean them because we got to save on labor, and I got 20 minutes. I'll fucking go do them.
Yeah. And we've probably never been happier.
I've never been happier.
Like in terms of the last couple of years and whatever.
I can't remember a time I was more happy, Kenny.
But even if there is one, of like the perception of, what it's like to be a couple of young pals that start a bar, and then all of a sudden you've got like 8 venues, whatever, and it's like, this is like the dream. And it's like, and then at some points you sit there and be like, what am I fucking doing? Like, a job, we've kind of employed other people to do these jobs that I was doing. Yeah. I don't really have a purpose every morning, because it's like, that's getting, you go and like talk to people like, you doing that thing? Yeah, we're doing that thing. And I'm doing other things too. And you're like, great. Like, now we've got our jobs back. Yeah, and the job is, providing like hospitality and, and supporting the arts as best we can, like as in housing it and giving it a home to do things like this. Or when you can all come back and play to that munted person standing in front of you,
trying to rip your leg off.
But we're so much more involved in that again. Like the sort of like the visuals, like every word that's said and everything, like everyone we're talking to, like the beers that are on the taps, like every aspect of it, and it's so rewarding.
Sure.
It's so fucking good. Like
great.
It's
fantastic.
There's everyone's different. But it's people go different ways in this scenario. Like some people will be really unaffected and be like, COVID, fuck, whatever. They didn't barely notice it.
I think they're missing the whole point to what this fucking moment can be.
Well, exactly. But that's it. But that's what I'm saying. Everyone, this is the way people take it. Some people will dive into depression because it's like whatever they thought was their worth or value will disappear, and they're not sure how to fight for the next phase of their life. And some people just sit back and go, what ultimately makes me happy? I want to fuck off all of the bullshit and just do this now.
Yeah.
And that's a really good place to be. And like you say, like that stopping and exhaling and walking forward as opposed to fucking being on a steam rail fucking thing, whatever.
Yep.
Steam train. Just hurtling forwards.
Yep.
Just because this is what I've chosen for myself and I don't know how to get off.
Yeah.
But it's just we all got stopped. You couldn't imagine just turning around and just being like, right, we're gonna shut all the venues for 2 months while we figure this shit out.
Yeah.
Like you'd be like, fucking, well, these guys are mental.
Yeah.
But we all had to do it, and it's been really great.
I'll tell you what, if you guys shut P&V, I'd be
sober.
Knocking on the door. I would be. Oh my god. Yeah, I went there a lot.
Mate, with half of the inner west.
We've got 3 out of 4 drinking booze. So, and we didn't ask this question last time. Jono, why don't you drink booze?
Hi.
Hi, Jono.
My name's John, and I haven't had a drink for 32 years.
You've never drunk?
I tried it a few times in school, but it wasn't really my thing.
And what do you mean wasn't your thing? Did you become like somebody that you didn't like? Or?
No, like I didn't see the, I don't know, I didn't get like what the big deal was. People were like, we're doing this thing every weekend, and then... I never really picked it up.
My brother is like not the same. He's drunk a lot over his years, but he never touched booze until he was like 19. So he'd been all the way through school, and then he went to university. Even that first sort of semester at university, he was like nah, and then he got really on that wagon.
Yeah, because like I might pick it up one day. I'm thinking like as an old man, I'll just do all the hard stuff.
Yeah,
because it's kind
of.
I can
imagine you being a proper lover of heroin.
Yeah. Once I'm like 80 years old,
a real heroin vibe.
Everything hurts.
We've got it at Jono's house. Yeah. Mate, that's his game plan. He's gonna do heroin when he's like 80.
I'm gonna start at 80, and then that'll be sweet.
To be honest, like not in his defense because he doesn't need defending, but like so Jono is one of my is currently one of my best friends. We're our social group, like our group of friends, like Kirsty and Tim upstairs are in that crew. Like we all love a drink, we all love to go out and stuff. And Jono will be the last one standing. Yeah, he does not need a drink to be there. Like he's more happy to just be the the last one. So he often is, So
on the dance floor here.
On the hell yeah,
bring those back.
This man
bring
loves
them back already.
This man loves to dance. I've seen it with my own eyes. Yeah, it's a sight to behold.
We asked him, Kirsty said last time, he's like, he'll be the last one on the dance floor. And Jake said something like, he's like, how do you do that? And he's like, I just don't sit down till everyone else has. So it's just simple. It's like, I just stay up longer than everyone else.
You just keep dancing.
That's how you do it.
That's it.
Alcohol's got a pretty strong habit of making me sit the fuck down. I'll be fair. It's not hard to beat us drunks.
That's the thing. At some point, it takes the wind out of your sails, and you just got to go home.
But booze is an important part to you, obviously, because you fucking love P&V and you've said it out loud. It's a huge part of my life. I fucking love alcohol. So, it's interesting to me to talk, to find out where intoxication it stops being creative. Because I find it about a creative space and also a bit of a relief space just to stop my fucking head from moving so much. Is it the same kind of vibe for you? Or?
It's definitely like a tools down thing for me. Mm-hmm. I definitely would, I enjoy drink as much as anybody else, but I definitely you probably didn't notice, but before we played, I don't drink before we play. I'll have like one beer if you twist my arm, but I won't have.
That's
several.
wise.
Just because I've had a lot of problems with my voice playing, and as well, I think so. Alcohol, plays into problems with your, so does like the environment sort of thing wherever you are, and I had a lot of problems last year, and I had to like get them looked at again professionally. And one of the things was just like, you just shouldn't really be drinking while you're playing because it's not good for your voice. And so I just had to take that on board. But also at this point, now that I'm a bit older, I just want to be like present for the shows.
Do you meditate?
I do actually, yeah. Not like religiously, but it is something that I do.
It's a really powerful thing for presence, I think, and being able to be present in the moment.
I use the Sam Harris.
Shout out!
Yeah, there it is.
Love Sam Harris. The what's it called? The
Waking Up
app.
Yeah.
Huge shout out for me. I'm a massive fan of Sam Harris across the board, but specifically, I think the best thing that Sam Harris will ever do is the Waking Up app.
Yeah, whether
so
you
powerful.
Yeah, whether you agree with his politics or not, which a lot of people don't, which is fine. It's
been put out. I just listened to his latest podcast.
And
it was pretty full on.
He's copped a lot of shit for that. But again, whether you agree with it or not, but I think the meditation side of what he is about is 100%. Like so.
That's absolutely unarguable. Like they need to be held separate.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're talking about Sam Harris specifically, but let's forget all of about Sam Harris, but about the mindfulness and the meditation, that sort of practice. It's such a powerful way for any human being to start reevaluating like their experience of life.
Yeah. So for me, playing is like the same, like achieves them. Like when we're playing, I'm not thinking about anything. Like I'm actually for maybe the first.
Really?
Yeah. Like that was what was so good about that was because I got to do that thing again. I wasn't sure if I was going to get to that spot because it was just like, well, it's not the same as playing with the crowd, but actually just when everything's running, it's just like, well, now I'm just kind of like up here is just
look to your band a bit more perhaps, or feed off them, or
well, I don't know. I mean, there's definitely a moment. I think we're just still creating like a moment, which is cool, and it can happen without a crowd.
Yeah,
and it definitely happens with a crowd. But that was to me just, I don't know, like proof that you just actually just playing together is like the coolest thing.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's for me. That's the most fun that I can have is playing the show. And as I get older, I'm just like, well, I have to just like, because I play every show as if I don't know when the next one's gonna be, whatever. Whatever.
It's kind of not the point, is it? The point's in the moment that you're playing.
Yeah, and I'll definitely have a few drinks afterwards, for sure. But yeah, like just before and during, that's kind of just like my time with the guys and girl. When Kirsty,
do you have the same thing, Jono? Is it a meditative state for you as well? Is it a state of being in the present moment for you when you're on stage?
I guess so. It's more like it's like a heightened state. Like you're just like above yourself. Like you're bigger. You're twice as big. You're just high up in the air. But then you look over and there's like two of your best friends and in the same position.
Yeah, it's cool.
And so I think that's what's so great about this band is that we've always been able to feed off each other. And that's why, like, for me, practicing with this band is as much fun as the show is.
Yeah, that's cool.
So we can always just generate this energy between the three of us, which is so satisfying anywhere, anytime.
It was nice. I walked in a bit late today. Apologies, as soon as I walked in, I tell you, there was a really beautiful energy in the room, as in like you guys were so relaxed and obviously very good friends.
These are my oldest friends.
Enjoy it, and so comfortable. You know, it's like you can tell. Like, we've had a lot of bands here, and we spoke to a few bands, and sometimes you can tell that's, maybe it's one person's band, and there's some other people there, or it's there's always a sort of, it's quite, I don't know. Everyone can feel an energy in a room, and you can feel like a sort of like if everyone's at ease, or if some people are at ease and some people are not. But it was so like if you could walk into that room today, it was so level and just easy. It was really nice. Straight away, I was like, oh, this feels.
And then the
feels
fucking, and then the
great.
drums kicked in, and you're like, this is not
They
level
played in
or
a
easy
fucking
anymore. It's
duffel
like
coat.
loud and
Played in
it's
a fucking duffel. I was going to Jake
frenetic.
over there. He's like, Jake, he's playing drums on a fucking duffel coat. What's that? Everyone was complaining his room's too hot.
I don't know what that was about. Yeah, yeah, but no, it is like these are like my oldest friends for sure. Like we've seen all the four of us have seen every state of the like in our old bands, and then in this one.
What's your favorite
well.
state? Have you guys played Darwin before?
Actually, no. Sorry, that is the only.
It's not a state, it's a territory. So you got the fucking.
That's it.
You got an out. You got an out. But
We've
I'm
played
obsessed with the idea of Mary's Darwin.
It could be. Apparently, Darwin is like popping off. There's some good
heard
shit up
it's
there.
One of the greatest.
There's some good shit going on.
Beautiful, isn't it?
In the hospitality scene, I've heard really good things.
It's like the Wild West, but in all of the great ways from what I hear.
So yeah, it would be great.
Maybe we can have us come and play Mary's Darwin in the next 2-3 years, Kenny.
Well, no, your brother's done a bit of time up there, right?
He has.
Yeah,
He's a massive fan of anywhere that's more difficult for him. any part of the world or any situation he can put himself in that is just going to be far more difficult for Steve Smythe.
Yeah.
That's where he thrives personally.
Yeah.
If he's in a room full of people saying, "Oh, Steve, you're so great," he's like, "I just want to destroy that room by being really offensive."
Yeah.
Does a pretty good job.
Yeah. I've only met Steve once, but we're good friends. We're good friends with Wade and Brock.
Yes.
So we've heard.
We've got the tales.
Heard everything.
He had the voice thing as well. I mean, I don't know how long he stuck with it, but he would started drinking orange juice before shows because, Steve's obviously goes up to falsetto at points, and he was really struggling for a bit there. They were like, stop drinking before shows. He's like, shit.
Yeah. Well, you need to stop drinking in general. I think he's actually pretty. He seems to be pretty on the straight and narrow narrow.
I think Barcelona
Is he
really found his
still over
home
in Spain?
Yeah.
He's in Barca. He got the
Catalonia,
COVID.
sorry.
You got Whoa.
Sorry.
Very PC of you, son. He got the COVID.
He got it.
100%.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Him and his missus Ari got it as she was in Miami or something and flew home, and within a few days of her being home, whether she got it, she gave it, or he got it. I mean, he was in a little town about 4 or 5 hours out of Barca, building because he's a chippy, and he
did all the unicorn stuff, right?
Yeah, he helped build the unicorn. He built tables here. He basically built
the
Mary's.
bar at Mary's Newtown.
Yeah.
All the Mary's.
And all the tables and shit. He's been a real part of all of the venues. But he was building in this little town, and they got the word that town, that little province, whatever they want to call them, was
down.
locking down. And
Yeah.
he got out by a 2-hour window and got back to Barca and got locked the fuck down in Barcelona. But then within a few days he had the COVID.
It's legit because last we spoke to him, and he's like, I never got tested, but he's like, pretty sure I had it. It's like,
We think Jono may have had it.
What?
I don't know. It was. Don't spread that.
No, you don't spread that cunt.
I
Don't worry about him spreading your rumors. You spread the fucking
did.
gift.
The situation is suspect, I will admit.
What was the situation?
So you tell it. You tell it.
I come back from Adelaide, which is Adelaide's premier world music festival. Just before
This is at the beginning,
before the whole thing kicked off, and I got home after 3 days of hanging out with a lot of hippies, and when I got home, I had the worst fever I've ever had for 10 years, and I just stayed in bed for a couple of days, and then it was fine.
And then you went.
But then also his housemates got sick as well.
Yeah, we got a little sick.
So you guys are real hotbed.
Yeah, a real petri dish.
I call his house, his share house, Hotel Corona. Because there's
How do you feel about that, Jono? You seem like you're itching away from it because I think it's
funny.
I think it's hilarious.
Corona's not funny.
there's
That's funny.
there's 4 dudes that live there and they've all got partners, and it's just
Everyone
when you
got
go
sick.
there when everyone's home, there's fucking 10 people there. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So
Your house is illegal.
No, it wasn't. We were very
They're
there's
playing by the rules.
Yeah,
but
there's
the
a lot
rules
of
were
sanitizer
vague. The
around.
rules are ambiguous. It's
That's the fuck thing about it.
partners can visit each other, and then it's just you got a house of fucking partners.
It's scary how quickly it's what I was saying this morning. I was like, fucking get it if someone just fucking looks at you with it. It's how quickly it passes.
Well, you
In
see
the-
what's
in the beginning,
You see what's happening in Victoria. It was like we're fine. 20 one day, 35 the next.
Yeah.
It's boom, 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 like knocking on the door of 100 fucking people.
We're talking about that chicken production plant in Wales. 158 members of staff tested positive.
Whoa.
Like, it's fucked up.
You know, on all probably turning up to work, and I wonder what level of them are asymptomatic. To be honest, like I think it's such a fucking loaded thing because the numbers are so concerning in terms of the infection. But when you look at the United States, the numbers are trending up, but the deaths are trending down.
Yeah, right.
Consistently. So the
people are staying away from the vulnerable, but it's still getting passed around.
Exactly. So it's going through. I don't have a fucking position on this. I'm not a fucking epidemiologist, and I'm certainly not I'm not a doctor. But when you look at, on the New York Times, there was 33,000 cases yesterday, and which is.
I read New York Times, man. Fake news, baby.
Yeah. Well,
sad.
Sad.
Yeah. It used to be great. No, it's.
What do you guys? I mean, look, we're fucking talking on it. We can fucking cap it whenever we want. But what's your guys' natural kind of take on people like the New York Times and the ABC at times like this? Do you think that they're giving us the actual snapshot of reality, or do you think it's heavily biased to things that, I mean, the New York Times, for example, they're generally biased towards things that I agree with, the shape of things. Do you think it's actually fake news to a degree? Do you think all news is fake news?
No, it's not. It can't be. It cannot be. And the people that work for these institutions basically are. They're highly things like the New York Times is it's had a few stumbles in the last 6 months or whatever. There was I can't remember what the thing was, but anyway, all the people that work there, these are like the best of the best. I think they're still
driven by some sort of editorial.
They are
direction.
But I mean, like in Australia, we have the only, I don't know if it's the only, but one of the biggest oligopoly media scenarios here because the Murdoch media owns so much of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, in that instance, you've got a heavy bias that's definitely influencing elections. Sure. I think when it comes to elections, these publications can be problematic, but I don't know, America's just this completely different scenario. Whereas in Australia, limits, America just where do you even start?
It's all run by sort of that profiteering, I suppose. I still to this day, maybe I'm a fool, but I still read BBC for my main intake of news because the people pay the fee to operate BBC. It's independently, but nationally run. It's they don't have a motive to feed you anything but what they're getting told.
So someone like the BBC, the BBC is one of the oldest, most respect. Again, these huge names they're basically the best of the best, and I just feel like their ethics and their moral compass is in the right place.
I just got taken on. Made aware of. I watch a lot of YouTube. And there's a thing called The Hill, and there's these two people on it. I can't remember what they do. It's someone in Saga, and they do this little a show on YouTube. And she's classically lefty liberal, and he's kind of more conservative. But they agree wholeheartedly on the fact that mainstream media is completely fucked. That's the one thing that they agree with, and they use they talk about issues, and they often agree around the fact that our news source, whether it be something as ridiculous as Breitbart, has got it so wrong, or Fox News is just, both of them agree Fox News is fucked. But they also both agree that the Times is really problematic.
Even Fox's anchors are turning against the administration right now. There's people
for sure.
on Fox.
Donald Trump's a different thing.
Yeah, it is.
He's a fucking madman.
No question. I don't know. It's just Australia is a unique situation, but
I feel really lucky to be where we are. Speaking from,
this is the greatest country on earth right now.
I think maybe a closer or maybe distant second to New Zealand. our fucking friends across the ditch, they seem to be doing it pretty good.
I thought like in terms of the ratios, Australia's slightly better.
As far as coronavirus?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, sorry. You're talking. I
was just talking about just the attitude of politics in general.
We definitely have like some very, very serious problems in this country that would be too deep to get into. But I think, relatively speaking, I think just you know, we're all right. Yeah, we're lucky.
I feel really blessed to be where we are. And we do have some fucking massive things to sort out, no doubt about that. But, you know, when you do play the game of, we could be in, you know, authoritarian China.
Yeah, of course.
Or we could be in the shit show that the United States is right now. You know, they are the polar opposites when you look at things and you go, well, that one's fucked and that one's fucked. I choose neither, thank you very much.
Yeah, the world's a crazy place. You can't deny it. Right now, especially more than ever. Although I often wonder if it was always this crazy, and just maybe I'm getting older and just I'm.
But that's the thing. I always think about with the news and that sort of, you know, the whatever you want to define it or name it, not to offend anyone. It's that like the older generation be like, I can't believe the way the world's turned into.
Yeah, you fucking created it.
I was like, you created it, and also you guys used to bomb the world wars. Like you guys are like straight to battle. Like at any point, like it's the most peaceful the world's ever been.
Yes.
Fair enough. It's like we're calling people out for their bullshit. Probably too much, or probably just like getting a little petty on like little issue. I don't know, whatever it is. But it's like the world's in a healthier state, a more mindful state than it probably has ever been. And all it's done is allow people to form opinions and to talk about those opinions. And now we're in that space where we're battling it out. We're all arguing with each other about who's right, who's wrong. But at least we're not fucking dropping nuclear bombs on each other. You know what I mean? Like it's that statement of like, what you look at the state of the world now. You're like, yeah, look what you fucking did to it. Like, Jesus.
Leave it. I'm going to leave it for my children to fucking clean up. I have no fucking idea.
Yeah.
I have no fucking idea. I just want to get people drunk and forget about it.
A noble cause.
Yeah. Well, listen, boys, it's been a fucking pleasure talking to you.
And
we'll let you guys go.
So and
we'd love for you guys to come back anytime that you release a new music or you've got something else you want to say. And it's an honor to have you play the Empty Room sessions tonight. Thank you so much. And
really great.
A real joy to talk to you and actually connect and get to know you guys a little bit more.
You too. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Another episode of Fat. Look for all of the fucking details you need to. Bye.